We may have won the transfer window, but Chelsea nil, Fulham nil, and to sit here and say we deserve the victory here, I would be lying. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to decipher, the good, the bad, the downright ugly in this game, because all three categories get filled. Welcome to Chatting Breeze. Welcome to the Kavkas View. Let's get on with it. The transfer window is closed and all of a sudden our problems are still here. And the reality is these problems aren't going to go away this year. The problems will most probably go away next year, and even then a lot of work needs to be done. A lot of people need to improve, starting with Graham Potter and his tactics and his in-game management, finished with the players that are actually on the pitch, with finishing your dinner, creating more chances, and actually being Chelsea quality. And today we saw the players that were very good, the players that just got off a flight and got onto the pitch and all of a sudden they're the best players on the team, in comparison to the players that have stagnated and become very complacent and expectant to play. I'm not going to mention any names at this moment in time. You can already guess who I'm talking about. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel because you are enjoying the video. You made it this far, so you like this content. And finally, in the pinned comment is my Instagram. Go follow me there. Ask me questions during the game. Ask me questions about football in the DMs, and let's communicate and build a community. But let's start with a good. I want to be positive. I don't want to yell. I don't want to shout. I actually want to be constructive and break the game down. Class is permanent and ability is there to see. And in this case, when you look at Enzo Fernandez, it's clear as day what we paid £105 million for. In the first 15 minutes, I looked at him and I smiled because it was so evident what we got. We got a rat with technical abilities in the middle. He is a pest. He loves the challenge, he's physical, and he dominates whenever he gets stuck in. He doesn't get bullied. Picking up Mitro at set piece, winning midfield duels, dictating the play, picking out long passes. There was a switch of play to Reece James that brought me so much joy, and I realized I was so deprived of quality football for so long that a switch of play made me smile, and it made me have some hope. It made me have some glimmer, the element of hope. There was a pass in the first half as well when he got it and he threaded it straight through to Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher on a half turn, poor decision making, gets robbed of the ball. But I'm just thinking about it. Imagine, instead of Conor Gallagher, imagine Joao Felix next week. Imagine that. That's what I can see happening. That's where I see the decisive players happening. And for me, Enzo Fernandez had a very good performance for his first game. The fact that he's been in the UK less than 48 hours, the fact that he almost scored from an outside banger, it was literally so close. It really just disappointed me that we didn't have enough quality around him in the midfield. And this is where Matteo needs to come back. And this is where you need to see the return of an N'Golo Kante, just to open it up for us a bit more, for us to get better. Then you look at Reece James. Those two are like our world-class players, right? Reece James, you could tell, there was a challenge he made in the first half where Robertson was running at him and he clattered him and won it. And I was like, yeah, we ain't got Aspi there anymore. And literally, for me, it was a beacon of light. And you know what, guys? I'm really clutching the straws because the game was a game where it was 50-50 battles. It was two mid-table teams going at it. And the reality is that's what we are at this moment in time. We're a mid-table team. We don't take our chances when we're given them, and we don't make enough chances to say we warrant to win these games. And that's the frustrating thing. Reece had a few moments here and there, but he made it through 60 minutes, and that's what I'm taking the positives out of this game. Him making 60 minutes means next week hopefully he can play 75. Meaning in 2 weeks time he can play 90, and the longer minutes Reece plays, the better we will look. And that's the fact of the matter, and that's the harsh truth. Then we need to look at the chances we create. In the first half, Kai Havertz had 3 chances. There was one where Mason Mount got the ball to him because of a beautiful thread through pass by Enzo Fernandez. Mount crosses it across goal. Ring gets his studs on it, and it literally just changes the direction of the ball for Kai Havertz, so he's on the stretch. There was one where Enzo plays a ball over the top. Kai gets it on a half volley, keeper makes a good save, and there was one as well where he gets threaded through by Thiago Silva and he chips the keeper and it hits the crossbar and comes out. Kai Havertz is not a 9. And Kai Havertz will never be prolific enough where we are going to depend on him to get you 30 goals a season. That's just never going to happen. He's a supplementary scorer. And the fact that he's getting these chances for me puts a smile on my face because I know with better quality in and around him, there'll be more chances created. There'll be more space for him to flourish. And hopefully he can stand up and be counted. Kai was not the issue today. Kai has had many bad games this season, but today Kai linked up the ball well, especially in the first half. Second half, he disappeared like the rest of our team. But it was very frustrating to just actively see how Chelsea have been playing. Another positive was the two youngsters that came off. Nodi Madueke, I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly, gave us a glimmer of hope of what we could see in the near future. Directness, assertiveness, ability to take a man on, open the pitch up when there's a low block. And there were moments where you could see his youthful naiveness, not releasing the ball on time, lacking that little bit of quality in the final third. But at this moment in time, beggars can't be choosers. We are desperate for anything and everything. And at this moment in time, I just need some quality football in my eyes, man. And for me, I enjoyed it. There was a chance at the end where a part of me thinks Fofana needs to square it to Kai Havertz. He needs to square it to Kai Havertz. A long ball over the top. Fofana gets in behind, goes around Leno, absolutely chops Diop. And it's take the pass. Make the pass to Kai. And, you know, he's just focused on scoring. He's a number 9. Like, it's very hard for him to just switch it off and all of a sudden realize that he's going to have to get his head up. That's what the world-class players, or they put it in a goal. And in this case, he missed. But you know what? It was nice to have a number 9 that did something. I'm not going to lie. It was nice to have a number 9 that's just living on the edge a little bit. And he's 20 years old. He will develop. And another positive that we can take away from today was Badiashile and Thiago Silva is forming to be a very good partnership. And you can see it. It's slowly starting to develop and it's slowly starting to mature. Benoit Badiashile looks like he's been playing for Chelsea for months. Good passing, good defending, one-on-one, play a high line. They react very good if the ball goes over the top. They compress when the ball's in front of them. One man in front, one man behind to get in between Mitrovic to sandwich him when needed. It's just a very good performance from the two of them. And it's becoming expected. Kepa, fantastic save in the first half. Good reaction from the Mitrovic chip. Considering his height, Kepa is always exposed to that. But he done very well. And I think his kicking was good today. All in all, those factors are positives to take away from this game. Now, I hate to be negative, right? But sometimes there are bad things that we need to take away from it. For example, Mudryk today was ice. Mudryk wasn't involved in the game. We didn't see any of the stuff we saw against Liverpool where you give him the ball and expect him to do something. And it was almost as if he's left on the left-hand side. Everything's going towards Ziyech, and Ziyech is creating everything, and all of a sudden it's cross, and inshallah, cross, and it's so annoying. Like, when you actually look at it from a standpoint where you've got a great asset who is known to have ability to take a man on and create for himself and create for others, and we saw a little demonstration of it against Liverpool, and we're not utilizing it. Comes off at halftime. Why did he come off at halftime? Because he hasn't had a pre-season, basically. He's been on a break since November, December time. So evidently, this kid's not ready to be playing 90-minute games. And this will happen. It will be a long process. He's still learning the tactics. He's still learning the ins and outs. So we need to calma and just hope we develop. Then you start looking at Ziyech. I always say Ziyech is a player that has a high-risk, high-reward game. So when Ziyech works, he looks bloody amazing. Like the chance that he made for Kai Havertz in the first half of the chip. Ziyech was poor today. And the reason Ziyech was poor was because his high-risk passes weren't coming off. So the turnovers were mad. Like if you actually look at Ziyech's attempts to pass the ball, everything needs to be slowly with reshow the overlap. He slows it down because he's not quick enough and athletic enough to get around. Or it needs to be something sharp ingenuity. And it's so annoying to watch because you can see he's talented, but he just didn't have a good game today. And rightfully hooked. Honestly, rightfully. You look at Conor Gallagher, God bless him, he tries. Like, I swear to God, he really tries. He runs around, he gets stuck into challenges. You could see what Conor would be good at in a team that has lower pressure, more space because they play on the transition. And when the ball just bounces around and he takes that shot, he could have won us the game today. But the problem is, he just lacks that quality. Like I said, there was one moment in the game that really stood out to me. Enzo gives him the ball, he takes a touch, and a good player plays the ball forward straight away, knows what he's going to do before the ball comes to him. Conor has to receive it on the back foot, look up, analyze the situation, William pinches. Everything is very slow with Conor Gallagher. And the problem is Conor's going to have to develop into that player. The problem is Chelsea's not going to be the club that allows him to develop. I can tell Potter rates him. The problem is there's nothing to rate there at this moment in time. He's not good for you. And until Kovacic and Kante come back, we are in big, big trouble. And that's what's frustrating. And finally, Cucurella. I am a fan, I am a cheerer of Cucurella on a consistent basis. I think there is a player in there, we signed him 4 months ago, and we have to give him time to settle in and get comfortable in this team. The problem is, he is not giving me anything on the offensive end to get behind. For example, today it was a good block, and there was a couple of good one-on-one duels. The problem is when we're going forward, he is so confidentless, if that's even a word. He just doesn't have any belief about him. Everything looks lethargic. Everything looks pathetic. Everything looks... That punchy ball he had under Tuchel is no longer there. And what I don't understand is you played under Graham Potter at Brighton, so you should have the confidence to believe you are good enough, flourish at this level for him. But yeah, I don't see it. I really don't. He just looks like someone that is trying to regain confidence, trying to remember what made him great. Ben Chilwell came on. Ben needs to run a game. Ben needs to get fit again. So it's going to be a good battle between those two. But today, Cucurella was poor once again. And the ugly truth, and no one's going to like it. It's not looking good, bruv. And Mason Mount is not looking good, geezer. There was a moment where he absolutely put in a challenge, then he used an expletive to express his views to the ref about how he's not happy, when the reality is you fouled the player, bro. I don't know what you're upset about. Mount's inability to create and play in the 10 makes me laugh. Potter's consistent iteration to play the player and give him numerous opportunities is beyond belief, right? It gets to the point now where Mount got hooked. I was like, okay, what's the point? At this moment now, what are we doing here? Because we see who he is, we see what he is, and Mount's not going to improve. This is Mason Mount. He plays for himself. He shoots when he wants to. He doesn't look for anyone else. And he's just a mid player. On a level, he is West Ham level. And for me, the best thing that could happen from this season is at the end of it, he's dead serious. I do not want this player at the club anymore, in the pure facts that I don't see what he offers to the team. Next week, he shouldn't be starting ahead of Joao Felix. Joao Felix should be starting this game. And Kai Havertz should be playing as well. And with Joao, with Kai, and with Mudryk, hopefully Noni on the right-hand side, we're going to have something we can get behind. Something where there's some ingenuity, some creativity, some runners off the ball. And with Mount, the attacks just break down. And I'm sorry, it's always with him. It's very poor. It's very stationary. Everything is Mount FC, and I don't like it. Guys, this was my views. This is the Kavkas View. I came into today's game saying we need 14 wins from 18. Now it's looking like we need around about 46 points from a possible 17 game. That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. This top 4 race is not going to happen, especially when we play like this. We have closed the gap onto Newcastle and Man United to 9 points. The reality is they've got games in hand. And those games in hand are powerful and they're most probably going to win them. So it's very frustrating and it's something we need to move on with right now because this team does not score enough goals to make top 4. We defend well, we really do. We've got some good players, but until N'Golo Kante and Kovacic come back most probably and we start dominating the midfield a bit more, and hopefully we get Joao Felix and Mudryk coming through, it's not looking good, brother. And I'm sorry if I sound dejected. I'm sorry if I'm not leaving you guys with the optimism that you came here for. And I'm sorry if it wasn't the rant that you rivals came here for. But it is what it is. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts. I will be back tomorrow and we'll talk about some of the news about surrounding Aubameyang, the players that made it into the Champions League squad, and what actually went wrong today, after I rewatched the game. So peace out. I'm out. Have a lovely evening.